Hey guys, I'm back again and I have for you today another tag. Yes, I'm getting in the tag mood. I've already done 2, but I was watching Shawn, the Big Book Maniac, and he started this tag called the page 112 tag, which is based off of a French literary prize where the judges are presented with page 112 of each book, so you don't know what the name of the book is or the author. You just have page 112. You read it and you decide, the winner from there. So this tag, I will be reading from 3 books, and these 3 books are on my top of my TBR to read within the next 2 months. And so I'm going to read page 112 of each of these books to you, and then at the end of each one we'll talk. Alright, so first book. "What about your mom?" said Molly. "When does she get to do what she's interested in?" I shrugged and went on nipping off stalks of cress with my fingernails. Obviously Mom was not interested in things. Never had been. You only had to look at her to see that. "Does he ever even ask her what she thinks?" Mal went on. "Why," I said, "what about your mom? What does she do? What is she interested in? If you've got all the answers I didn't say, if you know how people ought to live." I ate a leaf of cress, more peppery than I was expecting. My eyes watered. "She's a teacher," said Mal. "She teaches physics. And yes, she has interest. She does stuff. Aerobics, gardening. She grows vegetables. Weird ones, mostly. Says there's no point growing stuff you can't buy at the supermarket, though some of us might think there are reasons the shops don't stock what she grows. She'd like your cress. I'll tell her about the burdocks. Keep fit and gardening, I thought, down south in Hertfordshire, wherever that is. Bet they've got a huge house and garden. Bet it's the first time she sat down to eat with a bus driver and a supermarket cashier. She squeezed water out of the paint-brushed end of her plait. My dad left us, she said, when I was 5. Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued. Yeah, the writing is, it's not bad. It's pretty simple, but there is enough scaled back off of the writing to get to the crux of what the author's trying to say. There's obviously this person who's this woman, this mother who is being judged, and I'm kind of intrigued to read this one. So yeah, I don't know, tell me what you think, but that sounded pretty good to me. All right, this is book 2. All right, here we go. Ewan thought for a moment. I think if a guy came up and said outright, "I'm fucking your daughter," we'd probably just look at each other and shrug, added Ada, and say, "You know what? Fair enough." They laughed as they crossed the road and cut through a parking lot. "Can you imagine what our kid would look like?" "What, brown skin with freckles?" said Ada, giggling, "and a ginger afro." Ewan bent over, laughing, and I watched them both from inside her head, amused. It was cute. They talked about how their families would receive them. They talked as if things weren't impossible, as if choices hadn't already been made. I didn't interfere, not yet. When they got to his room and got into bed, Ada hesitated. "We don't have to do anything," she said. "Things have changed, We can step back and just be friends. Nothing would get broken." Ewan smiled. "You're beautiful and you're lying next to me." He reached out to her and I entered his arms. "I can only be what I was born to be. Trust me, I wanted things to go back to the way they were, free and easy, but Ada couldn't do it. It was too late." Now that she loved him, she started feeling guilty all the time, imagining how it would feel for his girlfriend if she knew about their affair. It was easy to imagine the pain of betrayal after all. Ada loved him too now. She and the girl were basically on the same side. He and I were, for all purposes, the villains in this. Okay. interesting. It does just this tinge of intrigue there. I think you'd have to be crazy not to be interested to hear what's going to happen next. I know I'm intrigued, so I don't know about you, but I'm intrigued. So that was book 2. Now, book 3. All right, there's a problem here. Page 112, there's nothing on page 112. So it's 113. All right. Speed. Light poles flicker beside us, aluminum and white neon. The sun is rising behind our car, coming up from under the inch of concrete at the far eastern tip of Route 50. As we drive west across Arkansas, chicken fences stretch out endless. Behind the fences are lonely ranches. Lonely people in those ranches, maybe. People reading, sleeping, fucking, crying, watching television. People watching the news or reality shows. Or perhaps just watching over their lives, over a sick boy, a dying mother, over a cow in labor and eggs hatching. I look out through the windshield and wonder. My phone rings as we are driving past a soy field. It's Manuela finally calling me back after a long silence. The last time I talked to her was nearly 3 weeks ago, right before we left the city. She doesn't have good news. The judge ruled against the petition for asylum that the lawyer had filed for the girls, and after that, the lawyer dropped the case. She was told that her 2 daughters would be transferred from the detention center where they had been waiting in New Mexico to another detention center in Arizona, from where they would be deported. But the day they were supposed to be transferred, they disappeared. What do you mean disappeared, I ask. The officer who called her to deliver the news, she tells me, said the girls were put on a plane back to Mexico City, but the girls never arrived there. Manuela's brother had made the trip from Oaxaca to the capital and waited at the airport for 8 hours, and the girls never walked out. I don't understand, I say. Where are the girls now? She tells me she doesn't know, says that everyone she has talked to tells her that the girls are probably still in the detention center. Everyone tells her to wait, be patient, but she thinks the girls aren't in any detention center. She says she's sure the girls ran away, that maybe someone in the detention center, someone friendly, helped them escape, and that the 2 of them are possibly on their way to her. Why do you think that, I ask, wondering if she is losing her grip. Because I know my blood, she says. All right. That sounds intriguing as well. I like all 3 of these. They sound really good. I'm especially surprised by book number 2, considering book number 2 is the one that I worry about the most. So you guys comment below and tell me which ones, which book you were more intrigued by. Now I'm going to tell you which ones I read. So the first one, I read a passage from Ghost Wall. So this one is by Sarah Moss, and this is longlisted for the Women's Prize this year. So this is what I'll be reading this weekend. The second passage I read was from Fresh Water, and that's by Akweke Emizi. And yeah, this is the one I worry the most for, that I'm not going to like, but after reading page 112, I'm intrigued. So this is the second one that hopefully I'll be reading this weekend, because this weekend is Dewey's. And the third one is The Lost Children Archive by Valeria Luiselli. It's this one. That was the last one that I read. So, my, I'm up for some good reading, I think. Pretty intriguing stuff. So, yeah, more on that. This one as well is longlisted for the Women's Prize too. So, there you have it. I kind of like doing this. I had chosen these 3 books to read because I'm trying to get through the Women's Prize long list before the 26th, 27th of April, before the short list is announced. But not being very sure, like I said, I'm still not very sure about Fresh Water, but now having read page 112, I'm pretty intrigued. And even Lost Children Archive sounds pretty interesting. And Ghost Wall does too, although I don't even really know what Ghost Wall is about, and I barely know what this one is. I don't really know what any of these books are about, because I tried not to look too much, because I don't want to be I don't want to be, you know, convinced to think a certain way about them, because the three of these books have had hype in different ways. So for example, this one is getting the thumbs down everywhere I go. I've just only seen a couple people say they really like it. A lot of people are saying they hated this book. But after reading page 112, I think I might like it. This one, everybody says they love tremendously. Like this was a very, very popular book last year. So I'm hoping I will like it as much, but I don't know. But that page 112 was damned interesting. And this is Freshwater, and this is the one that has the most controversial critiques on. I would say some people really, half the people like it and half the people don't like it. It's not very long. I think this one has a very strong magical realism feel to it from what I understand, but you know, I don't know the details around the book enough to actually make a commentary. But from what I read on page 112, I could be interested in this, so we will see. So like I said, I will be reading this one and this one this weekend while trying to finish Remembered. And that's going to be because this weekend is Dewey's 24-hour. So hopefully I'll be able to get through these two. And I'll be starting this one on Monday because, yeah, it's a big chunker one. Yeah, this is fun. Let's talk below about which page 112 did you like the most and which one did you like the least. And yeah, what do you think about these three books? Did you like any of them or did you not like them? Are you surprised that they have been long listed for the women's? Okay, that's all I have for you today.